Hey Cardinals fans, welcome back to the Redbird Rundown. I'm Andy, joined today with Matt, Jonathan, and Scott. And hey, guys, if you're enjoying this show, please follow and share us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Helps us so much. You'll find all of our social media links in the episode description. You can also subscribe and watch on YouTube. Be sure to check out our other Redbird Rundown content as well, including Cardinals on My Time and Random Cardinal of the Week. On today's show, we're packing for Jupiter, boys. We're going to Florida. Not really. The players are. We're not. I wish I was. But we're putting together maybe a packing list, perhaps that some of the players forgot or need to include. So this is going to be a fun little thing where some things that maybe we think might help some of the players get an edge or make the team. I did read a comment. One of the catchers for a different team made me laugh. He was being interviewed, and he said he's like third on the depth chart, maybe fourth. And he said, well, it's that time of the year where I'm the third monkey trying to get in the ark, and it's starting to rain, boys. Let's go.
Wow.
I had to laugh at that one. I like that analogy. So we're going to just spotlight a few things, what they need to bring with them as they take the next step into spring. And boys, how are we doing this Saturday morning? Anybody's piriformis injured or anything happening today in the IRL?
I just feel like the third monkey trying to get into the ark, you know?
Yeah.
I am going to jump in and have just another little Saturday tidbit of a glimpse into the wonderful world of
Saturday mornings with Scott.
Saturday mornings with Scott. Tune in on the Redbird Rundown podcast channel. So as we've stated before, I am a morning person and get my workout in prior to what we've determined to be a best time of 7 a.m. Saturday recording, which is great. Lets me get kind of things planned, ready to go. So, I don't know if you guys are like me, but workouts don't count unless you track them,
Yes,
either on
amen.
your watch or on your phone.
Yep.
Unless I either sweat or see a calorie burned, workout didn't count.
I agree.
I fell asleep at 8 o'clock last night because I had to be a dad while my wife went out to Galentine's Day. So as soon as my daughters were down, I was down. Fell asleep with my watch on.
Man.
Biggest thing about Apple Watches, they last about like 7 hours on a full charge. So of course, wake up and my Apple Watch is dead. So 4 o'clock, I have to charge this Apple Watch. Otherwise, again, the workout doesn't count. I'm on this Ladder app program and it tracks the watch. The watch tracks my workout. So again, got to make sure it goes. So I'm hour behind schedule there. But all good, no problem. Get the workout in. About 30 minutes in, I get a text from my wife. Well, my workout puts my phone into Do Not Disturb because, let's lock in, baby.
Sure.
Yeah.
You're just
I
zoned.
have about 3 or 4 texts from my wife. Can you get Sienna? That's our daughter. Can you get Sienna? 2 minutes apart. Hey, just I beg you. Can you get her? And I'm like, oh, so end up eventually playing the hero. So I had to pause the workout, go back in, finish. Now I'm just focused on Sienna here, but we get through the workout no problem.
You and Sienna?
There's more. I just keep waiting for the
no.
payoff. No, we're not even close. Okay.
No.
I love
There's
it.
more.
love
Biggest
it.
thing about this is our youngest. She just started allowing me to like hold her and everything, and she is 9 months old. So, this was a real test to how much she is trusting me here. And we had a morning after that.
I still just am imagining you're holding a 9-month-old baby while working out.
The workout had just concluded at this point, and I also work out with these headphones, which now the world is shut out, so I didn't even hear any crying. Well, she was crying, so I had to go and save her after this workout. So anyway, we had hard bonding time, loud, both crying here and there, whether it was her or me, but get her back to sleep, no problem. We've been having some recording issues down here, so I decided to move closer to the Wi-Fi router, and as
Good
it
move.
turns out, the closest place is my daughter's donated table to her. Nope. This is, if I had to measure from floor to the top of my head, I am sitting at about 20 inches off the ground on a wood chair with a date 1953 in the Chicago Department of Education. So,
Good. In the time of Ernie Banks.
yeah. So that's either a testament to the quality that the Department of Education is putting out, or my weight loss plan that makes me feel like I can sit comfortably in this, or it is the opportunity to give us some good content as I fall through the table and have splinters. But
Just
Everybody
blink
wins.
a couple times if you're cramping. Just like blink twice that you're like in distress.
Well, I'm trying to get in the best shape of my life, as it looks like our boy Joel Pozo coming into camp 33 pounds lighter than last year. So best shape of our lives. It's that season.
Yes, it is. It's marathon year for me. I'm gonna go up to Chicago, Scott. I'm gonna go to your neck of the woods, run marathon up there, buddy, in October.
Well, running's overrated, but
Yeah, come on.
I was like,
be done with that.
why did somebody just break out into a foreign dialect on this podcast? What just happened?
Well, let's just hop right into what we're going to talk about. I had a lot of fun doing this. This was fun to do some things. So, listener, we all selected a few Cardinals players, two that are, probably pretty good fixtures in the lineup this year, and one maybe that's on the fringe. We picked one luxury and one survival item for the people who are on the roster, and then that item to get the person that's on the fringe maybe into the lineup. Just things that we thought maybe we could do. So just as an example, Matt picked that guy. Never mind, I won't use that as an example. So, Matt, why don't you go first, okay? Just to take the person and get it out of the way, all right?
We need to let the listeners into our group chat real quick, and that is, I said first I was going to do Lars Nootbaar because I remain a committed Lars Nootbaar booster, even though the heels are pretty scary right now. And then I decided to change to Jordan Walker just for you, Andy. So as a gift directly and straight to your Russian tracksuit here this morning on the pod, I picked Jordan Walker. His luxury item is going to be the Spider-Man web canisters. Okay, so I don't think that we can have Jordan Walker bit by an actual radioactive spider. I prefer the Tobey Maguire where it just comes directly from the wrist. But we're going to go with the Tom Holland web canisters. And what's going to happen there is Jordan Walker has improved quite a bit on defense, but I'm going to need to get him to the next level here and get some web gems out of him. So he's just going to be slinging those canisters in the outfield, just really grabbing everything in the right field corner. And if we've got web gem Jordan Walker in right field and we've got web gem, like legitimate web gem Victor Scott in center field, I think that's a pretty good defensive alignment. So that's his luxury item. Now,
wow.
For the survival item, this is far more important to Jordan. And when I say survival item, I don't mean I mean, like, this is his career on the line, right? So I really had to do a good job picking this. I chose the restrictive straitjacket that they put Hannibal Lecter in the movies, because I'm going to need him to absolutely not swing at those low and away sliders. And so I think in the straitjacket get the restrictive movement. But I think what is the most important, though, is it has, if you could picture this, listeners, in the movie, it's got like the mouthpiece over it.
Okay.
Because he is just biting at everything. Every pitch that is thrown, he's biting it. It's like me and MLB The Show. So I'm just going to need him to pull the whole thing back and be more selective. And we're just going to get a Hannibal Lecter situation for Jordan. Andy, what do you think? Could that really do it?
No.
Wow, Andy, you don't think a straitjacket and Spider-Man webs is going to fix somebody, Jordan Walker?
Matt, I like the web canisters. That was nice. That was a nice touch on that. For him. I do enjoy that.
Andy, what do you think about the original kind of example that we were going to use? If you don't think he's going to not swing at the low and away sliders, how about we give him an oar to reach those so that he can at least put something on the ball?
Carry the boat, baby. Yes.
He's going to need something. Andy's not a big walker guy. If you can pick that up, he's not a big walker guy.
Just tired of talking about him. Tired of watching him not do anything. So if he does something, I guess he'll change my mind, sorta. But we'll see.
Well, you still threatened to fight him even when you found out he's a 260-pound trimmed beast. So he's committed.
Well, if it's a long distance bout, Andy can probably take the cake there.
Yeah, I'll just long distance run. I'll have to outspeed him for a little bit, which I probably can't do.
Tracksuit power.
That's the Russian track star.
I'm talking about.
Scott, why don't you take us next? Who'd you pick?
All right, so I went with somebody who I'm really enjoying or hopeful to watch this spring, just to see how the team uses him and what he ends up doing with the potential opportunity. And that's Thomas Saggese, Thomas the Italian, playing for Italy, WBC. So I think he's going to be on the 26-man roster in some capacity, but I think in order to get what they need out of him, so for Sajaci to survive and not just be the 26th man who gets a day or two or a pinch hit opportunity a week. Now, I admit I have not seen this movie, but I chose Swiss Army Man because I was going to choose a Swiss Army knife, but figuring that he might have to fly through TSA, I don't think the knife is going to be able to make it through, even with this shutdown that we got. I think they're still going to stop him through if that knife were to go. So I went with my boy Daniel Radcliffe's Swiss Army Man, because I think Thomas Sajaci needs to find any opportunity to be the guy that does it all. From what I researched for the Swiss Army Man, it looks like basically Daniel Radcliffe was able to be used in any way, had some like superpowers, turned him into a boat, I believe, at some point. And now I'm not saying Sajaci needs to get that motor and be able to sink or float, but
if they ask him to.
But if they ask him to, I mean, like I asked him in winter warm-up, like, how many gloves are you going to bring? He's like, well, I'll do whatever they need me to do. So I think he's already going to be committed to being that Swiss Army Man, assuming that's what happened in the movie.
Kind of like the Brendan Donovan fill-in, right?
Exactly. So I think that's what, I don't think he'll get as many starts as Brendan Donovan would, but he could start to build to that. And that's where I think if he could be that Swiss Army Man, then let's go. So then I also said, what is it that he could do that would just put him into maybe that Donovan role or more? And I am a big Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles fan. I don't think there's any cartoon superhero. I'm calling. Oh, a little too rough. Oh, wow. This is a whole, wow. We could have, okay.
Well, come on. Who's your Ninja Turtle?
Yeah.
Before you go.
Yeah.
It has to be Donatello.
Okay.
Leo is just a little
careful.
Another conversation for another day.
Careful,
I'm so sorry. But yeah, I'm gonna lean Donatello, but a little bit of everybody in everyone. So I had to find a way to get this in, and I'm gonna say give him the TGRI ooze, but kind of like Matt's, like we can't just force a spider to bite somebody. I don't think we can force this probably performance enhancing substance into Thomas Sajaci. But if he could mutate into not only this utility player, but also this utility player that is the Texas League MVP, who has demonstrated this 20 home run power and this potential for a 300 batting average. If he could mutate into some positive, I'm not talking about the shredder mutation. I'm talking about becoming that person who is going to do what you need him to do, but he also enjoys a slice a time or two. So I think if Thomas Sajaci could mutate into this 20 homer utility guy, then we're going to not forget about, to respect to Brendan Donovan, but forget about the loss that Brendan Donovan has been this year.
So let me just clarify. You don't want the shredder mutation. So you want like the Bebop and Rocksteady, I think is what they're trying to go for. So, but they were like stupid. So is that what you want them to?
Exactly. And that's why I said there's a little bit of everyone. Let's throw the Donatello smarts into it. And, then we can get the Rocksteady and Bebop, but also the intelligence of that Donatello.
Guys, Donatello's got the bow. He's got the staff that kind of works as a bat. I think he's versatile. I think it works.
There we go. Thank you. Appreciate it.
We could live there. So if you've never seen Secret of the Ooze, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, circa 89, something like that, maybe 91.
Vanilla Ice, go Ninja, go Ninja, go!
You've got to go watch that.
Greatest pizza in movie history to open up anything as well. If you've never seen the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles live studio or live performance, the Shredder is, oh my gosh!
Is that with Lin-Manuel Miranda? Is he in that? I'm just kidding.
I'll just say I got it on Goodwill on VHS for 99 cents. So
dang. Okay, whenever I was in Italy recently, like a couple months ago, when I came back, throughout the city in Rome, they have
just what a flex.
Not to brag.
Sorry. They have posters of like the Renaissance, like the painters and Leonardo and Michelangelo and all these different cool guys, and they have like the bandana of whatever their Ninja Turtle is. So we're like taking pictures, of course, when you see them. And this guy's like next to me, some rando guy. He's like, "This is so cool." I'm like, "Man, I'm just looking for splinters." And he's like, "What?" I'm like, "Oh man, you just ruined the whole thing."
Out.
Like, okay, you got to know who Splinter is if you know who the rest of them are. You know what I mean?
That's what you're gonna go. It's like an epic rap battles of history reference there.
That would have been. Can you imagine if I said that and he was like, "Yeah, dude, I'm definitely into that."
Yeah.
Can I swing it to Sajasi for a second? Because we've talked about him a little bit on the pod, but not a ton. Is his upside like truly Donovan from the right side with more power? Because he does seem to have that versatility. Correct me if I'm wrong, guys. I don't think we've seen him much in the outfield as we did Donovan, but I mean, his athleticism might play okay out there. So I often thought of the Donovan trade as in like, A, he is the wrong age for the competitive arc of this team, but B, I think they're just thinking Weatherholt can do it. I wonder how much Sajasi really factored into that as far as what they were thinking and the expendability of Donovan. You guys think I'm way off with that or what?
No, I don't think you're way off at all. I was just perusing both of their Fangraphs page quickly while you were speaking. The thing that people don't remember about Donovan is Donovan torched the minor leagues from a hitting perspective. He did. He was well over. His lowest WRC plus was 115 in AAA, and he only got a handful of at-bats, but he was running 130, 125 the entire time, throughout the entire minor leagues. You look at Sajasi, it's the exact same thing, if not better. When he won that MVP in AA, the Texas League MVP, he was running a cool 166 WRC plus. So it's in there for Tommy the Tank Italian Sajasi. It is 100% in there. I just wonder, what if he just like breaks out during the WBC and becomes like a guy? He seems like a dude that just needs plate appearances. He needs to play. We should not give up on him, Matt. I don't think you're out of the realm of possibility with it. He could actually be something here.
Yeah, absolutely. I totally agree that I would love, we kind of skip over and go right to JJ, but I would love to see Thomas have a shot of see what he's made of.
I mean, I think if Gormy's, if he's gone next year, if he does not perform this year, it's Sajasi, isn't it?
Can I hop right in?
He's the heir apparent.
Oh, you got a Gorman for us?
I did. I picked Nolan Gorman.
We are the Gorm.
So let me just hop in. You're right, Jonathan. He better do something because his survival thing is those flour food packets. Okay, and here's why. Okay,
from
flour
like when you buy from the store.
Yeah, from you buy from the store, and here's why. From the Disney smash hit Beauty and the Beast, he's Beast flour. He's dying. He's wilting away. He better get some food on that sucker because he's done if he doesn't do anything. That's his survival. So you better go, Nolan, before, if you're already there, go right now and pick up some. It's a great time to pick it up. It's Valentine's weekend. Get you some flour food packets, okay, buddy? Because you might need some, all right? Bring that flour back to life.
I just want to catalog that for the listeners. I mean, we had Disney, we had Beauty and the Beast, we had flowers, we had roots, stems, pistil. I mean, just wow. Incredible stuff, Andy. Incredible stuff.
This is an educational podcast.
His luxury item is if he locks in and he brings the flower back to life, I want him to have a laminated spray chart showing only his home runs hit and have him stare at it every single day before he takes the field. That's it. Just like it's like this mantra zone in, like that's his like poster that says like one random, cliched thing. That's what I want him to do is just stare at your home runs hit, Nolan. That's all I want you to do.
Is this where they put it like up above the doorway leading out, and he just like
slaps it
on,
like,
on the way out every time?
Yeah. Or like
Motivate.
like in grade school, they have like all the motivation things like in the cafeteria.
Yeah.
Hang in
Why
there.
are we doing it here? Yeah.
It's just like Nolan with a flower. That's what we'll have in the future. Yeah.
Hey, I've brought up to Nolan Gorman. I am a known Nolan Gorman lover and believer. Mm-hmm. That he could be a Kyle Schwarber light with the bat, but more athletic. Like, we'd all take that, right? I mean, a 35
Absolutely.
homer hitting 218. Like, he won't have the walks, but he'll have the strikeouts. Like, give it to me.
Speaking of the Phillies, you want to be a Nick Castellanos where he brings a Presidente into the dugout?
Totally good on anybody over the age of 27, I think.
So, and here you go.
That might be the whole podcast.
So JC, one more time. They're not going to get a righty bat. Maybe he could be that righty outfield bat if he does mutate into that outfielder. No Castellanos, but maybe JC.
Andy, to your point, Gorman had a stretch. I think it was in 2023 when we went out to the West Coast and was just white hot. We went out to Seattle, and he was just our offense for 2 straight weeks. And when he's on and he hits a home run, I don't know if there's anybody else on our team that has a sweeter home run contact swing. When he connects, it's gone immediately. I don't think there's anybody else. So to your point, if he does turn this around and actually becomes consistent, he would be an insane addition to this roster if he can actually do it. We have just been so down on him because we've never seen it with him. We've never seen it consistently, and it's sad.
Yeah.
So I'm going to make my second MLB of the show reference here. I really feel like for Gorman and for Walker, it's like they're thinking too much. And it's like they've changed the difficulty level of MLB The Show, and you're like, oh, what is this, right? And so you were like in a groove, and you've done something a certain way your whole life, and now you're having to change that. And I think that is exceedingly difficult to do, and I just wonder legitimately for both of those guys if it's like a processing thing, and it's clearly not the athletic talent or the ability, right? That's obviously there for both of them, but whether they're going to be able to, they're really having to change their stripes here. I think that's really hard for them to do.
Yeah, it's like an MLB The Show when your road to the show drops below 400 batting average and you want to quit because you're a failure.
Yeah. and they won't call you up.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Sorry, I'm hitting 400. Yeah.
All right, Jonathan, who'd you pick?
All right, so I'm going to start with my most realistic person here, which is Ivan Herrera. This is the first person I picked. So just to clue you in, everything else after this just makes no sense, devolves into chaos, which I hope you guys enjoy.
Chaotic good or chaotic neutral?
A little bit of both. So, okay, Ivan's survival item. Do you guys know, if you've ever been to a camp or some kind of outdoor activity or seen these, they're like the big hamster balls you put over the top of your head, and it covers up minus your legs so you can run. That is what I want him to live in on the field, is just one of those. So if something happens behind the plate, he falls down, he just bounces back up. There's some weird play at first base, he bounces back up, because this man can't stay healthy to save his life. He can't. Let me show you why he can't. Or here's all his history. Here's his injury history. 2024, a back injury. A fluke back injury sustained while throwing his equipment bag. That's tough. I don't know what to tell you. That's tough.
We can't get an unpaid intern to do that for him.
I know. What are you doing, man? Don't touch anything. Okay, that's injury number 1. Left knee bruise, April 2025. We remember this, right? This was when he was running the bases in Boston. He was out for a long time with that. June 2025, a grade 2 hamstring strain, again, while running the bases. Maybe he doesn't have to run the base. You just tip him on the side, and he just rolls. Don't even have to use your legs. Then, this offseason, we didn't really know about this. He had that right elbow surgery. That's within about a year and a half, he's had 4 legitimate injuries. I'm really scared if he does not live in a bubble or does not protect himself. We're going to be like, what's the what if of Ivan Herrera because he can't stay healthy? He just he's never proven that, and that's so dangerous when he has such a good bat, the best bat on the team, no question.
Well, and he just didn't get cleared to play in the WBC either because of that elbow. And it doesn't sound like it's because of progress. It's because of just insurance issues. So who knows what it's actually going to turn out to be. But have you guys, just to go on to the bubble, have you guys seen the Bubble Boy movie with Jake Gyllenhaal from the early 2000s?
No, but I bet it's
No, did that one cost you $2.99 at Goodwill? What was that?
Well, it's got that 32% on Rotten Tomatoes, but the real ball knowers, 84% like it, on IMDb. So that tells you. Oh, it's the same deal, but it's as you would expect in a 2000 movie featuring Jake Gyllenhaal in a comedy about a boy living in a bubble. He grew up thinking that his mom was protecting him. He's got this disease where he can't go towards anything because then he'll get hurt. And I feel like that's what some Cardinals fans are thinking of Ivan Herrera. It's like, no, just completely wrap him up. Don't let him do anything. But at the end of the movie, it's an aha moment when the bubble pops and he can do all these things. Maybe we can let that bubble pop and he can become that catcher or, again, outfielder of the future if the backup.
I'm afraid if his bubble pops, though, he's going to have some kind of another injury where it's like maybe
the
it was
popping
too
force
aggressive.
of the bubble.
Yes, yeah.
I don't want to mess up your luxury item, Jonathan, but I'm just going to stay on this corner. I really think it's a bad idea for him to catch. I genuinely do. The knee bruise strikes me as a fluke thing. The back thing is clearly a fluke thing. The elbow thing maybe helps explain why Andy may have been making fun of some of his throws down to second base last year. So maybe that's good. But I'm telling you, to take the best bat on our team and to stick it into the place that causes the most injuries seems to be completely insane to me. But I'll defer to Bloom, obviously, but it feels like a bad idea.
I couldn't agree more. Scott, go ahead before I get to my luxury.
I was going to ask, how often are you okay with it? I'm okay with 3 times a week behind the plate. And one of them being a back-to-back to see if he can do it. Okay,
I could see starting that way. Just to, can he carry this? We need that bat so bad that I don't know. I would sacrifice some catching time. I would.
Yeah, I would. Okay, this is going to lead right into the luxury item. Have you heard of hyperbaric chambers?
Yes,
folks?
Of course.
Right. So, do you know in Ant-Man, the Marvel movie, where he can just like the professor can click the button and like it like shrinks something, little discs. I want to get him a keychain that's a hyperbaric chamber that he takes with him, and then he can just like expand it wherever he is. Because I was reading about these, because I had heard like when I first came into my head, like he needs something to heal rapidly. This is literally what it says on the trustiest source on the internet, Google. Okay. It involves breathing pure oxygen in a pressurized chamber, increasing blood oxygen levels up to 25 times normal to promote rapid healing, reduce inflammation, fights infections, and stimulates stem cell production. The other two, I'm not sure about that, but rapid healing and reducing inflammation feels like everything Ivan Herrera needs. So he needs like a miniature hyperbaric chamber that travels with him, and he just pops in that sucker at the end of the day. All I'm trying to get with Ivan is a clean, healthy season. That's all I want.
So the LeBron treatment. You just want
the LeBron treatment. Just heal.
How much are these? Can I get one? Like at almost 40 years old, I think I have inflammation.
What's sad is what is Ivan, 24 or something?
Yeah, I think he's 25 years old. Yeah.
Come on, man.
Yeah.
I had to roll out for about 17 minutes before I actually got on the bike this morning at the age of 34. So I'll take 2 to 4 of those hyperbaric chambers as well.
Okay. Yeah, that seems good.
All right, Matt, back to you.
Okay, so my pitcher was Matthew Liberatore, and I will start this time in the right order. I'll give him his survival item first, because if you don't have the survival item, what good's the luxury item? You really need to stay. Now, this is going to get really sketchy really fast, because I'm going to dispense him some drugs. And I'm going to give Matthew Liberatore. Oh, yeah, It's not going to be great. It's going to be seedy Russians and back alleys for days.
I've got you.
Right? I am going to give Matthew Liberatore a mood-stabilizing drug. And I am going to hope to stick him in the hyperbaric chamber and inject him with a little bit of the ooze. I'm just pulling from everywhere right now. And what I want is, I don't want that mood-stabilizing drug to do anything to his actual moods. I want him to live his king life just the way that he wants to. What I want that to do is I want that to take out the highs and the lows in his performance. Because last year, Matthew Liberatore was like hanging around in the top 20 of Fangraphs F4 for pitchers for close to the first half of the season. And I think Cardinals fans were looking around like, what? Like, is Chaim Bloom, is he magic? Because he's the one that pushed for Liberatore to be in the rotation. And we're like, we just got a lefty starter that looks like a legitimate, like, top 20 pitcher in the major leagues. To the end of the summer, we were like, oh boy, is this Andre Palante from the left side? You know what I mean? Is this like Senja, but it's split between Palante and Liberatore? And then I was heartened to see at the end of the season, he kind of righted the ship some. So I'm imagining that legitimately what he is as a pitcher is somewhere between the fringe all-star and the Andre Palante of it. And I would take that 100 times out of 100 to have a lefty just long-term in the middle of your rotation that's just an above-average major league starter. So I'm going to hope that this illegally dispensed mood-stabilizing drug can kind of take that effect. What do you guys think?
Well, I'm glad you weren't talking about his mood in general, because if you've watched him or listened to him talk, like, he's a pretty even keel guy, and I'm like,
yeah.
I'm like, Matt, like, easy, buddy, like, we don't need him.
He's going to be a turn up on the bench,
Yeah. But like, what is interesting is that the Cardinals have been pushing out a lot of Libby content, like from the official Cardinals account.
Yes, they have,
featuring Matthew Liberatore, like the nest behind the scenes with Matthew Liberatore. I just thought that's an interesting person to profile when we see the people like Mason Wynn and Victor Scott that might have a little bit more personality that we've at least expressed. But maybe that was a cool way for Liberatore to kind of get behind the curtain without having to be that crazy personality.
Yeah, that's interesting. And I agree with you, Matt. I would love to see if he just stays in that top 20 thing. It doesn't even have to be the top 20, but stays consistent, because he fell off the world for a while. And we were like, oh, no.
Yes, it was scary.
Yeah.
It really was.
Yeah.
Okay, so luxury item time. I am going to dip into the Marvel universe, not to get into this, Fangraphs DC versus Marvel
we don't
situation.
Want to get mad.
But we're just going to do it. Yeah. I am going to give Matthew Liberatore specifically the Iron Man 3 nano suit. And what I'm thinking of is the thing that Tony Stark, I don't remember where it is. It's on his back or his chest or whatever, but he can just be like, tell Jarvis, and the suit just kind of comes out from the nano thing. All I need it for, really, though, is just his left elbow and shoulder. And with pitching, with the news that Ishan Henderson is now hurt, you just need health. And so if I'm going to be able to stabilize his ups and downs and just make him that consistent average, above average major league pitcher, if I can get that nano suit, I don't even need it to add velocity or anything like that. I just want those tendons to be safely wrapped up and taken care of, and those nanobots to go in there and repair any kind of damage whatsoever, because I really think he can have a pretty long major league career. Of our younger guys in the rotation, I do think he's got the highest upside, and maybe this K tidal wave that's coming from the minor leagues, it might not wash him away. He may be effective enough, so I'm just wishing health for him, and I'm hoping that Tony Stark can help me out with that.
Well, I think the Ishan news is actually pretty interesting because the Major League Cardinals did not have an injury besides our dearly departed John King, who is like the first.
He's still alive.
I was like, oh my gosh,
I'm sorry.
rest in peace, brother.
Departed to, I believe, Miami. I should have added. But he
is that
he
still
was the
alive
first.
now?
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
He was the first player
Anyway.
to hit the first pitcher to hit the injured list, and that wasn't until like June. And I still think he was the only one. But when you look at the minor leagues, they had a lot of guys in the minor league system that missed extended time. So while the major league health was built around that pitch to contact, now this shift towards velocity, that health needs to give maybe pieces of those Iron Man suits down into the organization as well. If you're only
we could
giving
ship
up
some to Memphis and Springfield. Yeah.
If you're only giving up a left elbow and a left shoulder, I mean, there's still plenty left to give.
For sure.
I like that. Scott, you want to take us to your next?
Yeah, that's perfect, because that goes into another conversation about a person who isn't as glued into this year's future, but is somebody that I still believe in, and that might just be because of the amount of cards I have of him. But I'm going to go with the forgotten man of Markavian Tink Hence.
Okay.
And
Tinkle.
I don't. Part of it is because he's on the 40-man roster now, so the service time is going to be accumulating, or at least the contract years are going to be accumulating. So let's time to see what he's got. So I think, unfortunately, I believe that his survival item needs to be the bullpen cart from Major League. Because number one, we just need to bring those things back. I'm glad the pitch clock is moving things along, but let's get these relievers to pick it up just a little bit. I'm not talking Todd Coffey sprinting and sliding into the mound and all that stuff from Angels in the outfield, but we do need to pick it up. But also, if he is in the bullpen cart, that is less opportunity for injury in some capacity.
That's true.
So in order for Tink to be effective this year, I think it's going to have to be a bullpen cart, because while I think he has the potential as a starter, he has been seen as a potential closer of the future if the starting thing didn't work out. And maybe we are just seeing the starting thing isn't working out. Let's go ahead and shift into the bullpen, especially with the cycle of bullpen arms that I'm sure we're going to see this year when you break it down. Let's get Tink that bullpen cart and see what we got at the major league level.
I love it.
All right, let's keep him healthy even a little bit further. And if he's in the bullpen, maybe the build isn't super important. Like starters need to add that bulk. We hear people adding on weight just so that they can last throughout the season. Tink is listed on Fangraphs 6'1", 195. So it's not like he's small by any means, but when you take a look at him, you see kind of how he's built. It's a lanky 195. While
you
athletic,
can see his ribs if you really look at him.
Speaking of the ribs that were injured partially from last year, right. I am going to purchase him, or because he makes way more money than I do, or turn it into a potential subscription from, not a sponsor, Factor Meal Kits. And if they could get him on the bulking system, then they can, add that 20 to 30 pounds while he is showing that health while working at the major league level from the bullpen. Then he's going to be bulking up heading into next offseason to build towards that rotation and potentially have that health and that build that he's going to last as that starter where he provides more value.
I like that point, because I think him having to go to the bullpen, initially it sort of feels like a defeat. But we've seen many major league starters go to the bullpen and then, rise out of the ashes of it and kind of, so bulking him up so he can handle that kind of workload. I think that sounds really smart.
And
Andy, you're in a bulking season right now?
Yeah, right before I start the running season. It's about to be real thin around here soon.
Dang. All right, Tink. That's what we're going to call you.
Well, I'm going to hop in right after that and say that I do like the health aspect because I picked for my pitcher Dustin May, and his survival item is simply a dechoker. Because
rip, dude.
Too soon.
No, I mean, look, it's honestly not tongue in cheek because if everyone listener, if you've choked before, that is scary. It is.
Man, are you kidding me?
It is. You're right.
It is terrifying. And I had a moment, not myself, but my wife's cousin. We're at a birthday party, and I have a dechoker. So, listener, if you have no idea what these are, they kind of like if you've ever been put under like anesthesia, it's like that. You put it on there, and there's like a little tube that shoots down, like partway down the throat, and you rip it out like a plunger, right? So it just dislodges stuff. I have one in my car for my kids, just around with me. And it was she was choking on watermelon, and my wife's aunt just looked at me and said, "Andy," and I knew what she meant. And I just sprinted out to the car and got that sucker and got dislodged. It's a scare. It's like full adrenaline. It's terrifying. Sure. You're not in control. And so I feel for Dustin May. Like everyone's making fun of him. They had esophagus surgery because of a salad. Look, I don't care what it is. It could be anything. If it is stuck somewhere, it's a scary ordeal. So Dustin, take care of yourself. If you have never looked at a dechoker, I'm sure you have. Listener, you need to look at these. They're a great device in a scary situation. Dustin, get you one of those if you haven't. Dechoker is what this man needs to survive, apparently. So I also, on a lighter note, after his life was, in peril there for a little bit, I just picked him. I know Matt will know what I'm talking about instantly. I'm sure you all will. So Prima, the brand, right? It's kind of like the old GameStop, basically. Prima official strategy guide for Pokemon Red. You remember this, right, Matt? Like you have distinct memories of this thing?
That magazine probably still exists somewhere in mom's trunks. I mean, there's no doubt. Yeah.
And so why I had him pack this is because it is like, especially when you go back and play old game. It could be any game, anything from your childhood, nostalgia. Like when you were a kid and you played it, you just didn't quite have all the frontal lobe capacity that you now do as you're older, and it's like a reboot of cheating almost. So like for Dustin, he's done it before. He got injured, had some weird things happen to him. I want him just to crack open that strategy guide of let's pretend that it's baseball and just get into that groove instead of Pokemon Red, and just the scouting reports, all the things, let it come back to him. He's had some time. He can reflect. He can look back and be like, oh, yeah, I know how to do this really well. Because I want to believe that it's in there. I want to believe that it's like him revisiting Pokemon Red. And he's like, oh, my gosh, I can destroy this again.
I just wonder if he can wake the Snorlax up and get it out of the way now.
As soon as you talk about Pokemon, I just imagine every time a wild Pidgey appeared.
Oh, yeah.
And nobody want no Pidgey or no Zubat. Go ahead, Scott.
Think about how the world was when you were just looking outside and seeing children embracing the Pokemon that we did during that era of Pokemon Go, and just like seeing kids using parks. Wow.
Yeah.
That was
a lot of times though. I saw adults doing it, which is also cool. Right?
Maybe not as close to the park.
They should have really tricked kids and like hit them in dictionaries and stuff. Just all pieces of ancient technology. Like I heard there was a Charizard in that telephone book.
Oh man, that's fun. Andy, I like those. That was good. All right, I picked Michael McGravy, also known as Michael McGreevy. His survival item. This is a bit of a throwback for Major League Baseball. Do you remember the 2021 saga of Spider Tack?
Oh, sure.
Okay. So
yes,
Spider Tack was the sticky stuff. And I didn't realize Spider Tack, I thought this was like something that was like manufactured in like Colombia that was shipped over and like some kind of illegal thing. And no offense to Colombia, there's nothing illegal that happens there at all. But like it's not. It's sunscreen and rosin. That was Spider Tack, which is crazy to me. And Scott's nodding his head. It's probably how I had that nasty slider back in the day.
I've heard about it.
Okay.
A friend of mine, a guy I played with in college.
Yeah, right. He's heard about it. So I want McGreevy to have an unlimited supply of sticky stuff Spider Tack because it was making pitches unhittable in 2021, and that is what McGreevy needs. He has the location. He has, like, honestly, he has like the Michaelis location, and that's not an insult. That is a truly like beneficial aspect of Miles Michaelis, which I won't say that sentence probably ever again. Yeah. But if he had that, McGreevy would be like an elite guy because he can paint the corners and do what he needs to do. His stuff just doesn't stuff enough. So that's his problem there. So I want him to get some spider tack. All right, my luxury item for McGreevy. Do you know when the Dodgers get a hit, they go to second? You know, everybody does their little celebration, and their celebration for a couple years has been like this.
Yep.
Okay,
yep.
And that is paying homage to the Dragon Ball Z fusion dance. Okay, is what that is. Okay, right. So my luxury item, if you don't know what Dragon Ball Z is, take a second and look this up. I want McGreevy. I want him to get a manual on how to do the Dragon Ball Z fusion dance with Paul Skeens, because what I need is him to take Paul Skeens out to dinner. Hey, Paul, how's it going? I need to do this dance with you so that my slider can have 131 stuff plus, because that's what I need to be effective. So I need to see the Gohan or Goten and Trunks, the whole thing in Dragon Ball Z where they go like this and it's this whole thing, and they fuse together to be Michael Skeens. Okay. I need, ultimately, I know that was a long lead up. I need Michael Skeens. I need them to be together as one, and McGreevy would just be the sure ace.
It really sounds like a regional manager at Dunder Mifflin. Michael Skeens.
I'm just still stuck
Detective
on
Michael Scart.
I'm just so stuck on Jonathan said his stuff didn't stuff enough or something like that. Stuff like that. I just hung up on that sentence still. I think that needs to be a tag.
Yes, the stuff isn't stuffing.
Yeah, the stuff isn't stuffing. I'm hung up on that.
I've heard people say that in other things. The hair isn't herring today. I don't know. That's just whatever it is, you know? So Dragon Ball Z reference. I guess you guys didn't bet that was coming.
No, I did not.
This is a baseball podcast, and we are going further and further from that.
Just further down.
No, we're you know what we're doing? We're connecting with the listeners. That we're just bringing their life to our podcast and making it about baseball. I think
because there's somebody out there being like, fusion dance. Yes.
We may have a car crash right there. Yeah, just incredible stuff.
All right, Matt, take us home.
Okay. So my fringe guy is going to be oft injured Packy Naughton.
Oh,
and I could have easily. You don't know who this is? All right, this is from Andy's dark times as a Cardinals fan. I could have easily done something. In fact, I wrote something down about like extra strength surgical fiber wire because he's had forearm issues, he's had elbow issues. But I'm going to go deeper than that for Packy. And if we're going for survival guide, he is also a real estate agent. Okay, no, so I'm going to cancel his subscription to Redfin and get him a refund on that thing with the thought that he is not going to be having to sell homes anymore. He is going to be buying them with the contracts that he is going to accumulate while being in the Cardinals bullpen. And if you cast back a couple of years, our boy Packy was running a 3.14 FIP in 2022. And had 8.72 K per nine, so almost a strikeout an inning. I don't know for sure if he can replicate that after the injuries that he's gone through, but if he could get close to that place again, Redfin, he instead of like looking to sell things on there, he's going to be looking for luxury homes on Redfin because that will play all day, every day, and he'll have a contract somewhere in the major leagues.
I was waiting for his LinkedIn profile. Go ahead.
Well, I don't know, but Packy Naughton, the name, it just has so many more wonderful possibilities than Matt Smith that I'm just really jealous. Yeah.
Well, he's just got a left arm, so that automatically puts him into that conversation. But I thought that's what you were going to say. Like when you look at JoJo Romero and then Justin Brule, Nick Rackett, and then Packy Naughton. Let's get him that.
Come on down.
I'll help him cancel that Redfin subscription.
Packy Naughton, it just sounds like an old like Southern Baptist, like Reverend Packy Naughton. I don't know why. That's what I feel.
I like it. I'm into it.
All right. Well, I'm going to take that to you go one cool name in Packy Naughton. I'm going to go to an even better name in
Richard
Blaze
Pitts.
Jordan.
Okay.
but the Blaze portion does not go to his stolen bases or base running ability. He is a big boy that hits absolute tanks.
Yes,
when he in high school, he was hitting 500-foot home runs at major league stadiums. So my item for him, and he was left off the 40-man this offseason, which was interesting, but also more interesting that nobody then picked him up. When he went to St. Louis, he struggled after putting together actually a pretty solid minor league career. But I want him to be, we've been talking about this, power bat from the right side. I need him to go. I don't know if any of you are Simpsons fans, but one of the greatest episodes of all time is the softball game, or the game with the MLB players, Steve Sachs, Ken Griffey Jr., and all this stuff. And Homer, he gets a bat that is struck off of a tree, struck by lightning, and just hits nothing but home runs, called the Wonder Bat.
Ooh.
So I am giving Blaze Jordan the Wonder Bat from The Simpsons so that he can just tap back into that 500-foot home run power. And I don't care if he can stand at first base, third base. He was asked about the outfield. I don't think that's a thing that's happening. But the DH position exists. I know he's only 23 years old. I would hate to have a full-time DH at 23, but if he can give me 40 home run power, and he was a career minor league 283 hitter, come on, baby. Give me that blaze, but turn that blaze into power, Jordan.
I like that.
I do too.
I mean, because I'm all for that, Scott. Like, that's what I need. It takes me literally, I could not agree more. I just need somebody to do that in my life, like on the Cardinals roster, because it's just not there. So I want that. I'll be there to second that with you, because it leads beautifully into mine of Jimmy Crooks, okay, which is a catcher that might have some issues being on the team with Ivan and Pedro Pajes behind the plate. So I picked Jimmy. I picked a Periscope cleaning cloth, okay? And gentlemen, I want you to rack your brain. Why on earth? What's a Periscope used for? It is used.
I'm scared.
For tank commanders use them in their tanks. This man needs to be hitting some tanks. So the man needs to bring the cleaning cloth because he's gonna be a tank commander, baby. So Jimmy, in order to survive, you need to hit tanks, buddy. So you get that thing out, clean it out, and be a tank commander. That's what I want.
Real Luke Voigt energy. I'm just here to hit bombs and doubles. Like, we're just gonna turn Jimmy Crooks into catcher.
So Jimmy
Luke
Crooks
Voigt
needs to have his shirt like unbuttoned for things. Like Luke Voigt just used to come out so just disheveled.
In a size 42 jersey with no buttons. Oh, my gosh.
Just to escape my mind, what's the tank movie with Brad Pitt and Shia LaBeouf?
So I was thinking Down Periscope, where a 1996 Kelsey Grammer movie that, obviously...
Ranger Crane in a submarine?
Wow.
11% on Rotten Tomatoes. But
I love how you
really
have these
corner,
things
Scott.
clocked, dude.
Yes, you're the bad movie guy.
I don't watch films. I watch movies.
Okay.
All right, Jonathan, take us home. We've got two boys that need to hit tanks. All right, go for it.
Well, okay. I have Jose Fermin was my guy, who's kind of been up and down all over the place. There's a part of Cardinal fandom that really wants him to stick and like be on the team. I've seen guys saying they want him to start in left field. I don't know that I'm necessarily against anything that I hear with Jose Fermin. I think he could be useful. I think he could also be nothing, right? Like, we don't know. We haven't seen it long enough. So I thought, what is one thing you can take that will automatically put you on the team and get you at bats? And that is a bat infused with the hitting spirit of Albert Pujols.
Oh, wow.
That right there. I mean, I just thought, what
did we just not give that to everybody?
Well, that's a great point. That's a great point. But if you're Fermin, if you can hit like poo-poo, you're going to be on the team. It literally does not matter. And that's immediately what I thought is what could get him on the team. Well, what if he hit like Pujols? Okay, well, that would put him on the team. So that is literally that. Andy, the other one I had, I was wavering back and forth. I thought you might like this. He has not been able to be consistent, and what would help be consistent is maybe like the perfect running shoe.
Yeah.
Right? If you're using like strapping some cinder blocks down there and you're trying to run, that's not going to work.
Makes all the difference in the world.
Right, and I thought maybe it would be nice for him to just get some consistency, get a nice form, put some shoes on, the old Asics, Hokas, Ons, whatever you want.
Mm-hmm.
Right, Andy's like, yep.
It matters.
It matters. So I still think I like the bat with poo-poo energy.
I did say I just went to the Ghosts, and that did make a difference in my back not hurting, so shout out to Ghosts. But I thought, have you guys, growing up, did you ever play with the Mark McGwire Vortex Nerf wiffle ball bat?
Oh my gosh. I don't think we did.
We used real metal bats in our games,
man. My gosh. If you can look this, it's a wiffle ball bat, but the end is like a plastic open hollow container, and it's just pumped full of air. So it's just a compressed plastic bat. So, and then you get just a wiffle ball, and it would just launch. So while Mark McGwire might not have said he was on or not anything, this vortex was absolutely pumped full of something.
Yeah.
And that thing was the most incredible thing. So
that would work too.
I thought you were going to say
I might change my Wonder Bat to the Mark McGwire Vortex bat. I'm going to send it to you guys.
That's
Please
incredible.
do.
We need to time travel
yeah.
and go back to the Harmons and Smiths and hitting wiffle ball tournaments.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
All right, Jonathan, do you want to take us through and take us out for one of my favorite segments that you've introduced? I enjoyed last week. So, Jonathan, take us away.
Yeah. So before I get into highlighting who I'm going to for this segment, I guess the next iteration of Black History Month, Scott's brother Jim did just a masterclass of a job walking us through another really important Cardinal that we're highlighting for Black History Month. So if you haven't heard that, Andy did shout that out at the very beginning. It is Random Cardinal of the Week with a Black History Month tag to it this month. He'll get back to the random Khalil Greens in March, but that was really well done, very interesting. He goes into some detail, just history around the history. I don't know if that makes sense, but it was really neat to listen to. So to continue that today, I'm going to talk about Tom Alston. He highlighted him very briefly whenever he spoke about his Cardinal, so I'm going to talk about Tom Alston a little bit more. And that is a name that I did not know when I first looked at this, and I don't know that a lot of Cardinals fans know who he is, but he has a massive place in the history of the team. So Tom was born back in 1926, again, a very long time ago, and he was the first black player to suit up for the Cardinals in 1954. So before Bob Gibson, before Ozzie Smith, before obviously any of these guys, it was Tom Alston. So he arrived after newly minted owner Gussie Busch, which that's an awesome name.
Talk about a Southern Baptist preacher name.
Yeah.
That is an awesome name. Right, so he told manager, again, awesome name, Eddie Stanky. We just don't have names like this anymore. We just don't. So he told Eddie, he said, go find a black player, believing that excluding black players was simply wrong, but that is very morally righteous by Gussie. But it wasn't just about that. It was about money, too. He was selling beer, and the African-American community was buying a lot of his beer, and so he wanted to continue that on. Right, he was being, I guess, nice, but also he was trying to pad the pockets on the back there. Yeah. So he wanted him to find a player to make sure that the Cardinals had representation, in that community, because this is 7 years after Jackie broke the color barrier in Major League Baseball. And I read that, and I thought 7 years, it doesn't feel like a long time. But then I feel like whenever I'm trying to compare years, I think back to high school, like being in high school. I know some of you guys teach that, or obviously it hasn't been that long ago, but it felt like, man, those 4 years were forever. And think about that, 7 years after this monumental occasion that Jackie Robinson broke the color barrier, we still hadn't done it. 7 years. It just feels like a ridiculously long time. So carrying on here, how did we get Alston? We traded with the Padres. He was playing for the Padres. We traded for him. And when Alston arrived in St. Louis, the team discovered he was 2 years older than the Padres had claimed. Which, let's just pause here. Oh
my gosh!
Can you imagine if the Mets traded for Helsley, and Helsley gets over there and he's like 43, and we said he was 29? That's just crazy what happened back then and to what's happening now. Like, I just can't imagine that. So that frustrated St. Louis, their ownership group. Sure. Like, what the heck? So they demanded money back in their deal, and I researched, and I didn't find anything that says that they did rectify that situation. But that is kind of insane that Alston comes over and he's like, "Nah, man, I'm 29." And they're like, "We thought you were 27. Like, what the heck?" So anyway, Tom made his major league debut on April 13th, 1954, and in his rookie season, he played 66 games, batting .246 with 4 home runs and 34 RBIs. So over the next few years, he only appeared in 25 more games. But he really never became a star on the field outside of his rookie season playing those 66 games. But what makes Tom Alston remarkable isn't the length of his career or the numbers in the box score. It is the doors that he opened. St. Louis was a tough place to play. You'll hear Jim talk about that. And as the first black player in Cardinal history, he must have navigated challenging things all the time, no matter if it was going back to his home, to the stadium, on the road, with his other teammates in the clubhouse. So I literally cannot imagine the courage it takes to do something like that, to be singled out and different in literally everything that you do just because of the way that you look. And that helped pave the way for future generations of black players. This is not that far after that Bill White, who we highlighted last week, was playing for the Cardinals. If Tom Alston is not the first guy, I don't know that we get to Bill White. Bob Gibson was not that far after. Curt Flood was not that far after. So if Tom is not the first, I don't know if those guys are a thing for the Cardinals. So he might be overlooked by us fans just because his numbers are really nothing crazy. You're not going to see any WAR stats that are just popping off the page, or he's not going to have, the counting stats that really matters. But that's the thing in baseball in this civil rights era, even kind of post Jackie Robinson breaking the barrier, is that it's not how important it was and what he did on the field. It's what mattered in the barriers that he broke for us after that. That again, if it wasn't for Tom Alston, who is the one of one, we hear people say that Kristaps Porzingis was the unicorn. You hear these things that they're revered to as these crazy one of one guys. Shohei Ohtani is one of one. Well, Tom Alston is one of one for us in the Cardinals. And Matt, I read your article on Redbird Rants about calling for Bill White to have his jersey retired. And I kind of think it would be impressive if every team retired the jersey of the first black player that ever played for them, because I just don't think we can truly understand how difficult that must have been for all of them, especially, we're talking about the major leagues, especially rolling through the minor league system and everything that they have to have gone through, which we just cannot we can't fathom. So Tom Alston is the next iteration of Black History Month, and I think he was a pretty interesting guy. So thoughts on Tom Alston. Did you know who he was, first off?
No, I had no idea that was our first black player in St. Louis history. No.
And I will say, just like you, the first time, I had not heard of him until I heard the name Jim brought him up. So I'm glad that you highlighted him a little bit more than just hearing that. So that's just interesting.
Yeah, I didn't know that, again, until I listened to Jim, which, let me just echo everybody. He did a tremendous job on that. And Jonathan, you've been doing a tremendous job here. The only thing I was going to say is it's amazing they broke the color barrier, but it does kind of highlight the lack of black players now in the MLB. And I think that there's a number of reasons why that is the case. But I hope that's something Major League Baseball can work on. Some of it is basketball and football taking premier athletes away from baseball. But I just think baseball is better when you have the best athletes playing, regardless of their nation of origin or their skin color. And so I'm hopeful that maybe the MLB can kind of reverse some of this.
Yeah, and I would like to echo the sentiment, Jonathan, that we have no idea what they went through, or it's forgotten in time, or we're just a few generations removed from those said moments. And my wife was just literally talking about this in a different aspect, but another marginalized group, which was women and the suffrage movement, and some of the things that she looked into and what women went through, how they're treated. And that would be exactly what he went through. So I think it's really important for us to, as the generations move on, now that I have children, they're going to even be further removed from what was happening, honestly, not that long ago. So I think it's really great that we bring light to this, and remember, people, like what you said, Jonathan, you can't understate what he must have done and gone through to be the first. So really well said, and I really appreciate that you're doing that, that we are remembering the things that people have gone and done before, so that we can have the society that we have today. And that's not even a thought that we really have in today's modern Major League Baseball. So thanks for doing that again. And thanks for tuning into the Redbird Rundown, guys, your go-to source for all things St. Louis Cardinals. Be sure to subscribe and review the show. It really helps us grow. Follow us on Twitter, Blue Sky, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube for the latest updates. Keep those rally caps on, and let's go Cards.
Back it Dalton.
Charizard in the phone book.